Okay, so I was not going to do this video. And the reason I wasn't going to do this video is that I'm about to promote a product that I'm not getting paid to promote the product. But I felt that it was so important to help you organize your business. I was just like, whatever, let's go ahead and do it. Well, hopefully we'll get enough views so I can maybe get an affiliate link, Google. Anyway, here we go. Let's do Google Drive. My name is Sean Slaughter. I am a real estate agent and investor. And today I want to go over another productivity tool. This productivity tool is Google Drive. So when you're running your business, one of the main things that you're going to have to do is that you're going to have to organize yourself. You cannot run your business like you run your personal life. And this is the hardest thing for people that are leaving a 9-to-5 job and starting their own business. At a 9-to-5 job, the systems are already created for you. When you start your own business, you have to create your own systems. And then you have to live and abide by your own systems, your own processes, your own guidelines every single day so that you can be successful. We're going to jump into Google Drive and I'm going to show you just some simple folder organization, and it's going to be specific to real estate agents. But you can use this if you're an investor. Shoot, you can use this if you do have a 9-to-5 and you just want to stay more organized with your documents. Let's go. Before we begin, let's figure out how to get to Google Drive. I'm sure many of you know how to do it, but just in case you don't, let's show you how to get to it. So when I first open up Google and I open up a new tab, this is what I see. And there are two ways to get to it. One is a little keypad here that you can scroll down to Google Drive and click there. Another way is an apps that you can show your apps and you can click that and have your Google Drive in it. The way that I like to go to Google Drive is clicking my keypad and clicking Drive, and boom, it takes me straight there. Or another way you can get to Google Drive is if make sure you're logged in to your Google account. Type in Google Drive. All right, and click Drive, and it'll take you there. I'm using this account for this course is because I want to see all my personal stuff. I have a lot of personal stuff in there, a lot of business stuff in there, just sensitive documents, other clients' documents, and I really didn't want you to see that. Just very basically, the overview of Google Drive. Google Drive is like a hard drive, and you store things in folders. That's it. You can also share these things with other people, and we'll go through that step. And through this course, I'm going to go through Google Drive, Google Forms, and Google Slides, and Google Sheets in subsequent videos, maybe Google Docs. But today, let's just talk about folder organization, okay? As a real estate agent, here's how I organize my folders. First, let's create a folder. We're gonna go to New and Folder, Blah. And it's gonna ask us what we wanna name the folder. We can call it anything that we want to. All right. And we click Create, and there you go. There's your folder that I've just created. If I wanna delete this folder, I just right click it and I remove it. And anything that you remove goes to your trash, as you can see. And you can empty your trash, or you can wait 30 days, and items in the trash are deleted after 30 days. All right, let's go back to the drive. So my drive is where the majority of your stuff is going to pop up. You also have my computers. Now, honestly, I don't use this function. These are folders on your computer that you can actually sync with Google Drive. So imagine having a folder on your computer. I probably should use this, but imagine having a folder on your computer that you upload it to your computer folder, and it automatically uploads it to Google Drive. You know what? I think I will do a video on that. Shared with me. These are documents that are shared with you from other Google users. if you have 2 or 3 Google accounts, AKA like different Gmails, you can share a document that you use in your, my personal account at google.com with your my business account at google.com. Recent documents, these are documents that you're going to star. And again, I went over trash. Google gives you 15 gigabytes to use. You can actually click that and you can see which documents are taking up the most space. If you need to delete them, let's go back to my drive. All right, here's some folders that I've created. I create a folder for my buyers. I create a folder for my sellers. It's kind of go in order, even though it's not in order. I've created a folder for closed transactions. And so any transactions that close, whether it's a seller or a buyer, I will drag and drop it into that folder. I have a folder for graphics. These are all of my like real estate graphics, logos, and things like that. Important documents. These are a lot of business documents, just documents that never really change. But if I have to go back to my tax ID or my, because I'm an LLC or becoming an S Corp. So if I have to go back to any of those organizational documents, I just keep them there. Any foundational documents. When I sign with my brokerage, all those initial documents you get from your broker, the contracts, those initial contracts, I'll put them there. Net sheets. If you're a real estate agent, you know that when you're listing a house, you create a net sheet for your sellers to show them how much profit they're going to make. You may want to do something as other. Maybe it doesn't fit in there. Just kind of a throw all folder. My pay statements, love that one. Whenever I get paid from my broker and they give me a statement of the breakdown of the money that may be coming out of my pay, or the Alta, every real estate agent knows what that is. Just your pay documents. I like throwing them in there, okay? Then I have something called Realtor Docs. Now my Realtor Docs, so these are like seller scripts, buyer scripts, listing presentations, buyer presentations, purchase agreements, all those documents that I may use to present to a potential seller, present to a potential buyer, scripts, documents that I use when I'm listing a house, or documents that I use when I'm purchasing a house. I keep them in here. So let's say I want to color code my buyers. I would right click it and I'll change the color to, I don't know, blue. Sellers, let's just change that color to, I guess, gold. Realtor Docs, we can change it to green. I'm a very visual person. And so I like seeing, of course, the words, but the colors as your documents and folders build up, your colors allow you just to go to the documents that you use the most. So let's go into some of these documents, these folders, I should say. So my buyers, each of my buyers has their own folder, all right? Johns, Bones, Jones, and Pam Greer. Don't ask me why I named it that. The first names that came to mind. In these documents, Mr. John Bones Jones is where I'm going to hold everything that he has. I'm going to hold his purchase agreement. I'm going to hold his termite and moisture. I'm going to hold all of that stuff in there. You can even print out your emails, communication that you have, or, you can create a PDF of your emails, screenshots of your text, because it's always good to save your communication, and you can put it in these folders. If you want to go even deeper, you can go into one of these folders and you can create, termite and moisture inspection and all the documents that go with that. You can do ratified agreement and all the documents that go with that. You can do closing docs and all the documents that go with that. I remember I had a client who, I want to say 9 months ago, bought a house for me. The house was like a late 1800s house. She was a carpenter, really, really nice lady. And she always sends me pictures of her updating this house, and she's killing it. I mean, if you saw this house when it started, it had potential, but what she's done with that potential is amazing. And she asked me, hey, do you have the name of that termite company that we used to inspect the house, the home inspection and termite company that we used? And I just went right to my folder and said, yeah, here's my TMI. Yep, their name is blah, 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 and sent it to her. All right. Always want to be a good resource to your clients, even after the sale, because that's what makes a good real estate agent and makes a good entrepreneur. All right. So we're gonna go back to My Drive. And just to show you how I went back to My Drive, the one thing that I love about Google Drive is that it leaves these breadcrumbs. See these breadcrumbs? So I'm in the TMI folder, which is in the Pam Grier folder, which is in the buyers folder, which is in My Drive. I want to go to the buyers folder, I just go there. Pam Grier folder, I go there. So really cool. I like that Google Drive does that. Also, right over here, I can organize my folder in these blocks, bigger blocks, or as a list. All right, I like the bigger blocks. This is the information. If I click on anything in here, I can get the information about it. But I don't like seeing the information. You can see activity. This is pretty cool because if you're sharing files and drives and people edit documents, you can go to that file or drive and see when they've created it, what they've done, and all that type of stuff. Okay, and that's with that little information button there. Another way that I can access My Drive is by clicking this My Drive. And as you can see, it gives me access to all the folders that I've created under My Drive. So once my buyer, Pam Grier, is closed, I can take her and just drag her right into the closed folder. There she goes. Or if I use the breadcrumbs, I go to My Drive, I go to closed, there she is. Okay. So I like this feature as well because I'm able to move things around from one folder to another folder without having to have two screens. This really is almost like a second screen. If you think about it like that, I just kind of click that little drop down button to open it and close it. All right. Graphics is where you save your graphics. Important documents is where you save that. Net sheets is where you save that. Save your net sheets. I mean, nothing really fancy. Pay statements. And then my seller's documents, I would do the same thing with my seller's documents that I do my buyer's documents. I give each client a folder. And within that folder, if you want to organize different folders for different groups of documents, I'm not going to put one document per folder, right? The termite moisture inspection has 5, 6, 7 documents. I'll put it there. If it's just one document, I might just leave it, leave it by itself. I'm not going to put a document in one folder. So I got a trillion folders. Okay. Now, another function that I like to use is the starred function. The way that I use the starred function is, again, once your drive starts growing and you have a lot of folders and a lot of documents in here, because you can just put documents straight in here, right into the drive. You don't have to put them into a folder. Sometimes you don't want to look for something. The search and drive is an awesome feature. Don't look for things anymore. All right. See this, these are old documents when I was doing other stuff, but see this CJ's homework. If I go here and I type CJ's homework, see how it pops up, right? See how it pops up? If I type buyers, Google really has, see how it pops up? The buyers folder that I just created. Google really has a very, very smart function. So a lot of times when I come into Drive, I may not even go into the folders. I may go straight here. And if I know the name of the document, then I'll search for it and it'll pop up. Another thing that I like doing for documents or folders that I go frequently to is I'll star them. How do you star a document? Let's say my buyers and sellers folders are folders I go to frequently. I'll right click the buyers and I'll star it. And it says one folder added to starred. I'll go to sellers and I'll star it. So now when I go in starred, anything that I've starred comes under the starred section. All right. You can also go and remove it from starred by I'm right clicking. Sorry, y'all. I'm right clicking and I'm removing it from starred. everything still remains in my drive, right? But I can right click and add starred. And so if I have a specific document that I go to, a specific folder that I go to on a daily basis, and I have a ton of stuff here, I might just jump straight to starred. And I may only have, a couple of documents and a couple of folders that I go to. All right. One last thing I want to show you. I think it's the last thing I want to show you. If you have a transaction coordinator, so a transaction coordinator is basically like an administrative assistant, and that admin assistant may be somebody that when you upload documents, they do certain like paperwork and other tasks for you so that you can focus on doing the things that bring money in. And let's say I want to share, this folder, this buyers folder with my admin assistant. Well, I go to buyers, I right click it, I go to share, and then I start typing in the person that I want to share it in. If they have a Google email, that's my email popping up, and I'll click their name. Boom. It'll notify them. Hey, Sean, please see the John Bones Jones file. And I click send. When I click that send, it'll notify them. And now, see that little person that just popped up? If you look at these folders, they have no little person, but there's a little person that just popped up on that folder. That means I'm sharing it. That person that I'm sharing it with now has access to this folder and all the folders in it. See how the John Bones Jones folder now has a little person on it? Now they have access to all the folders in it. And so if you want them to have access to everything in that folder, then you share it with the main folder, the buyers folder. If there's only certain things that you want them to have access to, then you might want to create a folder and drag or copy items into that folder that you would like for them to work on so that they don't have access to maybe everything. I think that's pretty much it. Just want to give a simple overview of saving in Google. Now, I will tell you this, if you are going to be dragging videos into your Google Drive, you are going to have to increase your storage. And storage is honestly pretty inexpensive. The free plan comes with 15 gigabytes. The basic 100 gigabytes, $20 a year, $230 a year, and 2 terabytes is about $100 a year. So I do have on my other account that I use for business, I do have this one, and it seems to fit me pretty well. In our next video, we're going to go through Google Forms and how to create a Google form for your buyers or your sellers when you want to capture that immediate information so that you can begin working with them. This is the House of Motivation, the place where inspiration lives. Talk to you soon.